Welcome everybody. I'm so glad that you could join us for this week's Q&A. I think the question that we asked you is, what about fireworks? If you've ever been to Disneyland or Disney World, that's where the fireworks are at. Those little punky fireworks that we see around town, those just scare your dogs to death. You got to see the Disneyland and the Disney World fireworks. All right, enough about that. This is your last chance to get a Be Brave bracelet. So if you want one of these Be Brave bracelets, I always say that wrong. This is your chance to share it, okay? Share this post. That's that little share button at the bottom of the screen if you're on a smartphone, and comment that you want a bracelet. We will direct message you, get your address, and we'll send it right out to you. First 25 people that share this video and also comment that you want a bracelet will get a bracelet. So do that right now. All right, let's talk about some questions that people have about reopening our physical services at all of our campuses on July the 11th and the 12th. Now, our Belize campus is already open, so this affects all of our New Mexico campuses. So let's get to question number one. Are we still going to have online services after we reopen? And that answer is yes, absolutely. We will continue to stream all of our services on Apple TV, Roku TV, YouTube, Facebook, on our website, on our app. We'll be streaming our services from now on. So if you don't feel comfortable yet attending a Sagebrush campus, you'll still be able to be connected to us online. We'll also continue to broadcast our services on TV, on KOB, and on KTSM in El Paso every Sunday morning at 10 o'clock. And remember, those services are 1 week delayed. Okay, second question. How many services will there be? We're going to put a graphic up on the screen in just a second. We're going to start with just a few services at each campus, and as we start more people come back and return, then we'll add more services. So let's put the services up right now on the screen. So you see that Riverside and Enchanted Hills and the Northeast Heights, we're just going to start with 2 services to begin at the 4 o'clock service and the 10:30. Highland will have their 2 services at 9:30 and 11. Santa Fe will have their 9 o'clock service and their 10:30 service. Belize is already meeting, and they meet on Saturday night at 6 and on Sunday at 9 and at 10:30. And then our Los Lunas campus will be meeting for 1 service at Grace Fellowship Church at 3:30. Big thank you goes to the people of Grace Fellowship for allowing us to use their facility. All right, what about our Farmington campus? Well, our Farmington campus will continue to stay online. That campus will not meet again until the building that we're working on is finally completed. Friends, we looked all over Farmington for an appropriate place to meet, and after several discussions with Dane, our campus pastor in Farmington, we've decided to wait until we can move that campus into its permanent facility, which should be in mid to late August or the 1st of September. So just a few more weeks being online, and then we're going to have a big grand opening to open the doors. Of course, social distancing will probably be in place, but we're still going to party like a 1999. Next question. What will services look like? Well, I'll be there. On the Riverside campus, we'll not be having our shuttle service so we can maintain social distancing, so we'll all just walk in. That's what it is in all of our campuses. There will be people outside to greet you and say hello, but we're asking people to refrain from handshakes and fist pumps. And we've added sanitation stations also throughout the facility, and we'll have a touchless experience. That means you won't have to touch a thing to enjoy our services. All the doors will be propped open. When you check your child into Kids Planet, a greeter will ask for your code. They'll type that in the keypad for you with their gloves on, and then you'll pull your child ID tag from the printer. So you don't have to touch anything, just have to get the tag. Every other row in the worship center will be roped off, and we ask that 3 chairs be left empty between families or groups that want to sit together. Now, friends, we're not requiring you to wear a mask, but we are strongly recommending that you wear one. All of our staff and volunteers will be wearing masks unless they're on the stage leading us in worship in one of our areas. Every surface will be cleaned before your arrival, and it'll be re-cleaned after you leave so we can be sure that the next service is as sanitized as the first service. So if you aren't ready to check your kids in, we're also going to have a dedicated family overflow area that I'll be showing you a video of in about a week. And almost every campus is going to have a family video area as well, so you can worship the Lord together. Chris Dreyer will have more information about kids and students next week. All right, let's get to some normal questions that we've got with our Q&A. Terry wants to know, where's the next place on your travel bucket list and why? Well, that trip would be a trip to Israel. Tell me where you would like to go on your bucket list. If you could go anywhere right now without the COVID-19 stuff, where would you travel to? For me, it would be the Holy Land. In fact, we had a group of folks who were going to go with us to Israel this September, but due to the coronavirus, we had to push that trip back to May of next year. Years ago, though, I got the opportunity to go to the Holy Land, and it was the most incredible trip I've ever been on. I got to take a boat ride on the Sea of Galilee. And I remember thinking that this is the water that Jesus walked on. How cool is that? Give me some thumbs up on that one. I got to pray in the Garden of Gethsemane under olive trees that were over 3,000 years old. And as I'm sitting there and I'm praying, I couldn't help but wonder that maybe I was sitting in the exact place where Jesus prayed so intensely that sweat drops of blood poured from his brow. I remember walking the Via Dolorosa, the way of the cross, and I imagined how the streets were lined that day with angry men and women all screaming for Jesus to be crucified. There's just something special about the Holy Land. It's been 30 years since I've been, and I really want to go back with my wife so she can experience it with me as well. There's nothing like sitting on the hillside where Jesus fed 5,000 men, not counting women and children, with 5 loaves of bread and 2 small fish. There's nothing like being at the Jordan River and thinking about how Jesus was baptized by John the Baptist. There's nothing like getting to go to the empty tomb of Jesus and seeing the sign at the entrance that says, "Why do you look for the living among the dead? He is not here. He has risen, just as he said." If you've never gotten a chance to go to the Holy Land, I would strongly encourage you to save up, because that trip would be the trip of a lifetime. Okay, next question. Jim wants to know, what's your favorite quote that you've ever heard? Well, I love quotes, and there's so many great quotes, and I'm not sure I have a favorite one. But I would share with you the one that popped up in my mind when I read the question. If you've got a favorite quote, give it to me right now. I might steal your quote for an upcoming message, okay? Let me give this story to one of my favorite quotes, and you'll understand the quote. The story is about Joe DiMaggio. Joe was a baseball player for the New York Yankees, and one season the Yankees were way ahead of all the other teams for the American League pennant, so far ahead that some of the players were kind of just going through the motions in some of their games. Those Yankee teams were so good they could coast and still win. Well, Joe was asked the question, why do you play so hard every day? And this is what he said. There might be someone in the stands who's never seen me play before, and I don't want to give him the wrong impression. He wanted to give his best every single day. I like that a lot. Colossians 3:17 puts it this way, so whatever you do, whether in word or deed, do it all in the name of the Lord Jesus Christ, giving thanks to God the Father through him. Whatever we involve ourselves in, we should do whatever it is, whatever it takes to be like Jesus, to do it like Jesus would do it. We need to give our very, very best. Speaking of quotes, let me give you one from John Maxwell I like. John Maxwell once said, excellence requires 100% of you in all of the time. And if you doubt that, try maintaining excellence by setting your standard at 92% or even 95%. People figure they're doing fine, so as long as they get somewhere near it, right? But excellence, this is where it comes. Excellence gets reduced to acceptable. And before long, acceptable doesn't seem worth the sweat if you can get by with adequate. And after that, mediocrity is only a breath away. I don't want to live an adequate life, and I sure don't want to be mediocre, and I don't want to have an adequate relationship with my kids or in my marriage. I don't want to work in a mediocre job, and I don't want to live a mediocre life. I think my wife is worthy of my best. And I think my job deserves my best. I think my kids deserve my best. And I believe that God deserves my best. Write this down if you're taking notes looking for a quote. If better is possible, good is not enough. There's another quote right there. They're just popping right out of me, aren't they? If better is possible, good is not enough. I want to live a great life for Jesus. And how do we do that? Well, we raise the bar of excellence in our life. And raising the bar of excellence in your life is easier than you think. If you and I would focus on improving ourselves just 1% each day, then in 1 year we will improve by over 300%. Just by trying to improve 1% each day. Surely we can do 1% better than we did yesterday. And before you know it, You're living an excellent life. So what in your marriage could you improve today? What in your job needs more of your attention? How could you start today by being a better parent? How can you start to have an excellent relationship with God? We're not talking about quantum leaps. We're just talking about 1%, just 1% a day. Okay, next question. How do you take your coffee? These are some deep questions we've got today, I tell you what. How many coffee fans do we have out there? Give me a heart or a thumbs up if you love coffee. How many of you, come on, thumbs up. How many of you start your day every day with a cup of coffee? Give me some more hearts. Give me some more thumbs up. How many of you think coffee is the nectar of our great God? Give us some more hearts. Give me some more thumbs up. Boy, you guys are addicted. This might shock some of you, but I don't drink coffee. In fact, I've never tasted coffee in my entire lifetime. I shared that I had never had a cup of coffee before with some friends we have in Egypt when we were there on a mission trip, and they about came out of their seats. One woman in the room got up to make a cup of coffee for me right then and there. In fact, I told it to the studio just a second ago before we came on live, and Michelle ran over to try to get me to take a drink of her coffee. What is wrong with you people? Everything inside tells people that they need to convert me to the coffee bean. It's hilarious. Listen, I just don't care. Don't give me sad faces. I don't care for the smell of coffee. And I've tasted coffee candy and other coffee flavored foods, and I just don't like them at all. So you won't see me at Starbucks paying for overpriced drinks. And if you know what I'm talking about, give me a thumbs up. Now, my wife, addicted to coffee. We have a Keurig, we have a coffee pot, because the Keurig's not enough. We have to have a coffee pot too in case you have company come over. We have an espresso and an espresso machine. Never have I used those machines except to make a cup of hot chocolate. I hope you'll still be my friend though. Will you still be my friend? This weekend we continue our series called Relationship Playbook. I hope you've enjoyed this series and I hope it's helped you in your relationships. You can stream us on Roku TV, Apple TV, from our website using an app on Facebook Live. My goodness, the service streams on demand. A lot of you guys are using on demand on our app or on our website starting on Saturdays at 4 o'clock. So you can watch and participate when it's convenient for you. Also, again, you can watch us on KOB at 10 o'clock on Sundays. And if you live in El Paso, we're on channel KTSM, channel 9 at 10 o'clock every Sunday morning as well. I look forward to seeing you online or on TV this weekend. Have a great day.